Hello and welcome back to the couch. We saved you a seat, and there's a seat for everyone. Today we're talking about Invincible episode or season 3, episode 3, called You Want a Real Costume, right? We're going to talk about things we liked, things we didn't like, and maybe a little bit of wrap up on the first 3 episodes. I'm going to go ahead and say that the things I liked about this episode are obviously the costumes, and Eve and Mark's relationship, and the mother pulled at my heartstrings. I felt for her, and everything that has to do with that. The things I didn't like, once again, Mark seems nerfed, and I don't like that. In fact, I'm done with that. Pretty irritating. I want to see Mark be like a dog, weapon. I want to see him do like cool stuff because he said he's been amped. Even Cecil admitted he's been amped. Nothing. Same Mark. Anywho, let's go. Episode starts with this like really melancholy bank robber scene. Two individuals kind of in love, trying to figure things out. They go to bank rob. They decide to do better. They try to do better. They go to bank rob again. Invincible stops them, and this is their introduction into Oliver as a hero, vigilante, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're having. It's kind of weird, and Oliver is, 8, I guess, trying to kind of figure it out. Mm, It's okay, I guess. But Oliver helps get them out of trouble, and he goes home. The next scene, we see Eve and Amber meet for the first time. Love this part. Okay, I love this part. Love drama. Okay, so Eve and Amber catch up, and they communicate, and you know what? It's actually a really mature conversation, which I so much appreciate because I love Amber. Massive crush on Amber, actually. Huge crush on Amber. Amber's dating someone else, which is really, really nice. The younger team from the next scene, the younger team moves back into their old hideout. And they're making room for each other and trying to kind of figure that out. Love that camaraderie. Love that kinship. And of course, Rex is being Rex. Amber kind of shows up, has a conversation. They kind of let it slip that Amber and Invincible are a thing. Blah blah blah. It's okay. The next thing that's happening is, the mob bosses. They want to get this assassin out of prison, right? And so they try to get him out of prison, and they send these two dudes to get him out of prison. It's people Mark's beat before, and he shows up to fight them, and Oliver shows up and ruins things again. And Invincible has to defeat them both before Oliver can kind of react, and Oliver's just kind of the worst, and I kind of not a fan of Oliver in this episode. Anyways, they don't get the assassin out, which is a little insane, but you're kind of figuring out that there's like a syndicate. There's an underground syndicate. You're trying to figure out like who they are, what they are. They're not connected with Cecil. No, they're not, but they're their own thing. It's an evil organization. It's kind of weird. The next scene, Mark finally, and I think begrudgingly, decides that he is going to train Oliver. And so he does the thing where he teaches him to fly, similar to what Oliver's dad did, um, Nolan, for Mark. And once he kind of goes and flies with Mark, they take him to get a new suit. And here's where we get the new suit. And the new suit for Oliver is kind of dopey. And then he is where he's like, Kid Omni Man, because he thinks it's cool, right? He just thinks it's cool. He just knows that his dad is a superhero. His dad is super strong. His dad is formidable. That's all he knows, really. He's never seen the terror that his dad performed. And, but so Mark's like, buddy, that's not a good idea. I feel bad for Mark here because he's communicating pretty thoughtfully. He's being very patient and communicating very thoughtfully. He's trying not to be his own father, which I love. I think that's really cool. Massive signs of maturity. But then you get to see Mark's suit, the blue suit, which I love, actually. As a matter of fact, I don't know that I was ever a massive fan of the yellow and blue. I really like this suit. It's got a Nightwing vibe, obviously, to it. It looks cool, and later on they call him what they call him. They call him Invincible. I don't know. I think it's a cool suit. Um, but he gets a new suit. There's they have the prison break. Um, they have Mark and Debbie goes on a second date, and she tells this guy the truth. Now, I want to be super, super, super clear. Okay, she did this on purpose. This is actually really great storytelling and character arc and character development because she was never gonna feel close enough to this person to be intimate with them without being upfront and honest. So it endears me to her. I think that's in the intention. And she's being vulnerable, and I love it. I think it's really great. And this guy, he seems like a good dude. I'm thinking he's going to end up working for the syndicate, this syndicate secret organization, unfortunately. But yeah. Then we find out Eve's moving back to her parents' house. Her dad's still kind of a jerk. I'm kind of done with that. You know, um, I'm kind of done with that. I'd like her to like not feel alienated by her father anymore. Like, let's have a moment where that stops because it's boring. It's boring and it's slow. That's the part that I don't like, actually, because we've already seen it. We've already seen it several times. I'm good with it. What else we got? This was a much funnier episode. Like they were yucks. They were jokes. That was cool. Like when the Mauler showed up and the MPs were standing there, like they came right through here, blah 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 blah, and then the Maulers come through right the direction. Lightning never strikes twice. Blah. I mean, it's funny. Like this is a yuck yuck joke. This is a yuck yuck episode, which I appreciate. Um, but the Maulers attack the nuclear place, and which is interesting. It's cool. And Invincible goes to fight them. And then he's fighting them. Invincible's like kind of holding, I guess he's just holding back. I don't know what it is. But I feel like he's nerfed. Maybe he's just like pulling a Spider Man on them and pulling his punches. Because I feel like Invincible's really powerful. And then Oliver shows up and kind of ruins the day. And while Invincible's reprimanding Oliver, they shoot the nuke off. And so they have to split up, and Invincible goes and stops the nuke, and Oliver fights the Maulers, and he destroys them. It's really, really uncomfortable, actually. The Maulers, I think, are dead. I don't think they're going to come back unless Cecil brings them back, um, which would be okay. But um, yeah, Oliver kind of maims them. I mean, he destroys them, which is uncomfortable. It's really, really uncomfortable. It's pretty gruesome. And then Invincible takes a nuke in his costume. So not only can he take a nuke explosion, but his costume can take a nuclear explosion. That's a big thing because he was getting in random fights, and his yellow suit, the yellow one, accident suit, it was taking a beating. And this blue suit apparently can take a nuke, which I thought was cool. And then, but once the Maulers are defeated, Cecil shows up, and Invincible reacts accordingly and is like, "What are you doing here, dog? Like, we're not doing this. I told you what I told you." And he has to, Cecil pushes it in his face. Well, this is what you people do. And Invincible's like, we got to go. So he takes Oliver by the hand and he tries to explain to him what the problem is here. The kid doesn't understand what the issue is. And from a immature standpoint, it makes sense, right? Like, why aren't we removing these chess pieces from the board completely, right? If they're as vile as they are, if they're as heinous as they are, isn't it a world's round net positive to get rid of these people that are super, super evil? What I don't think, obviously, what the kid doesn't understand, and they preach it in DC comics and whatever, in other ways, is like, once you cross that line, there's no coming back. You're no longer the same person that you were before. Now he is half alien. I guess so was Mark, but he is not even human. Like this little boy is not even human. So it's interesting um, that this happened, and I'll be interested to see how Oliver becomes a different person. But then we fast forward to yeah, Mark and Eve are having their first date, or they were supposed to, and they kind of just sit outside and chat. And Mark's in this weird spot. He's in this really, really weird spot where uh, it's family and it's the job and it's responsibility. And he's actually doing an excellent job leaning on his friends, leaning on his family. I really kind of appreciate what he's doing here, actually. This is good storytelling for Mark because I think it's only going to get weirder. If it, I mean, it's going to get weirder. I don't know how it's going to get weirder, but it's going to get like super swerve weird. Like something really super strange is going to happen. Like things are too pleasant. Someone's going to show up that's not supposed to show up. There's going to be some odd, just complete beatdown that's uncomfortable. There's something's going to happen. Maybe at the end of episode 5. I don't know. But then we get the post credit scene. Oh, we not the post credit scene. Mark discovers the camera flying by, and it's this secret society of people that's like this syndicate bad guy group. But not before he has a conversation with Oliver, and the mother does such a good job of being like of her explanation of hey, everyone has friends and family, every single person, and of course the boy is thinking logically but not with empathy. He's not being thoughtful. He's thinking logically but not thoughtfully. And so I love that she's trying to inject some a thoughtful nature into this little boy who is infinitely more powerful than he even was 3 or 4 weeks ago. Pre predetermined to be really really powerful, and he's even rivaling Mark currently, and it's scaring everybody, including Mark. But you know, this little boy's got the self confidence to do whatever he thinks he should, and Mark's like, hey, but like there are rules here, and there are people, and I like that she's the Debbie is into the empathy because empathy is important. Empathy and thoughtfulness. Like, let's be thoughtful. The world could use it. Anyway, the final scene is where he discovers the camera, and at first I thought it was Cecil, but it turns out it's this weird kind of syndicate. I don't know how they're going to affect change in the relationships for Mark. We'll see, I guess, in episode 4, episode 5. And if they're at all connected with the Viltrumites, because we still have that entire plot line that's just floating out there, pun intended. So yeah, episodes 1, 2, and 3 really really solid. I love the new suit. I think I like episode 2 the best. After I watched them back to back to back here, I think I like episode 2 the best. But they're all pretty solid. They're all pretty solid. I would watch them. I'm looking forward to the next episode. I don't know when it comes out, but I'll do some research and kind of figure that out. I'm thinking next Thursday or Friday, if no episode comes out, we'll do a kind of wrap up episode, or we'll do a watch along episode, and include um, some of my cohorts, some of my friends, some family, maybe, and see if we can't get a watch along. Be happy to have it with you guys. If you want to watch along with us, we'll let you know. But until then, we saved a seat for you. Come sit down. Everyone is welcome. We'll see what happens. Okay? Stay frosty out there. It's February. Let's get weird. Have a good one.